Hi, welcome back to our channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a little bit business plan. Uh, the business plan that we gave, in the previous videos, those ones are good. But I really want to talk about what your people really need to start a successful business. Because on this channel, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make people skip the learning curve that is involved in starting a business. Because a lot of people start like a business and spend years learning. So this one, particularly with the farming business, most people will spend years before they will learn and they will start making money. So today we're just going to talk about a little bit of the business plan and also the things that we really need to do to make sure that our business get up and going. Because just having a business plan alone does not mean that your business is going to run successfully. So these are some of the things that will help your business run successfully and keep so that you can get income in as early as possible and make profit. And so there's a business plan and a risk reduction plan that I normally do. And also I listen to books and audios from people like this guy Brian Tracy, some Nightingale, and I read a lot of those business things because, man, it's not easy starting up a business. So when you start it up, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your traction once you get going. So the number one thing is, if you want to be successful in business, the number one thing is to focus. That's one thing that I learned. Because if you can focus, I said this in my previous video, that if you can focus, it will double your income and also reduce the time that you will take to achieve your success in your business. Because I realized that most people, once they start up the business, they want to do so many different things. There are people who can do those things. They can do so many different things, like 2 or 3 things at a time, and they will still be focused on the things that they are doing and get them all done. But there are some people who cannot do those things. So you have to figure out which one of those people you are. Then stick with that. Focus on that particular thing. If you can do one thing, do it. If you are somebody who can do 2 things, still focus at the same time. Figure it out and do it. Because one thing that I learned from one of these books that I read was, if you know that you're going to do this business, you just focus and then fail fast and learn quickly, then move on. So when you focus and you make a mistake, it helps you to learn very, very quick, or you have to learn very, very quick and then move on. Because before you can succeed, sometimes your success is going to be lying on the other side of your failures. So you learn those things through those failures. But those are the things that I want to reduce for people, so that you don't have to go through all this learning curve. So if you watch some of our videos, some of the things that we are doing, you can learn from them, and then you can go to other people's video to learn from them, so that you can start your business smoothly and moving very, very fast. The other thing that a lot of people do is, like thinking. Most people don't really think about what they are doing, about their business. Because I do believe that thinking is the most valuable thing that anybody will ever have. Like if you can sit and think and focus. Because I realize that any job that I go and do, especially in the US, most people who get paid higher are the people who think. You don't just get paid because you are doing a job. You get paid because you have the ability to think and reason through stuff, and that's how you get paid higher. Because so most of the times, a lot of people think like, okay, I'm just going to work really, really hard, and they just work hard and do anything without really thinking about them. So you just look around. Now that I said it, just look around and see that in any business, the people that are getting all the money, they are the one doing a lot of thinking for the company. you know. So, and the quality of your thinking will also determine the quality of your business and your life. You know, so if you can think really, really well and very, very good, you have a good life, and your business will be very, very good and smoothly running. You know, and also there's something that we call like a high and low consequences. You know, if you want to be successful, you have to have somebody who have like you think with a high consequences. Like when you think like when you consider consequences, you think on the higher consequences, you focus on those things. Because people who don't succeed, they always focus on the low consequences things, you know, and they get into a lot of trouble. You know, so if you're going to think, make sure your business succeed, consider the higher consequences things and focus on them, so that you can reduce your risks. You know. And also the other thing that I'm going to talk about is you know, whenever something happens, what I realize is a lot of people shake, like they just become hyper or something, I don't know, you know, instead of just focusing and becoming calm. Because whenever you are calm, you're able to think well, you know. Because a lot of people, when they go and see something happen, they will just start yelling and shouting at people, start blaming people for things, you know, instead of just staying calm and think about what actually caused that particular thing. So if you're going to start a business, especially with this farming thing, there are so many things that can go wrong. You know, there are so many factors, like especially when you are doing crop farming. You know, the rain, you know, the seed that you buy, you know, the land. Even if you apply fertilizer and those things, you still cannot control it. Even if you are using irrigation system, you cannot control when the pump that you are using is going to go bad. You know, so those things you have to be calm and think very, very slow. You know, because there's also something called like a fast thinking and a slow thinking. Most people, whenever they're supposed to use like a fast thinking, that's when they tend to use slow thinking. And whenever they are supposed to use slow thinking, that's when they try to use fast thinking. Because in most cases, whenever you are running a business, in most cases, you should be using slow thinking. Because if you start to use fast thinking, you make some decisions that you're going to regret later on. You know, fast thinking, you know, something like maybe if you're going to cook your dinner for the evening, you know, you're very, very hungry, so you go in there, grab something and eat. Those things you can use fast thinking. You don't really, it doesn't really worry you. Or whenever you're going to take a bath and the bath comes, okay, where do I sit? You can just go in, figure out, okay, let me sit here. Those things are fast thinking because they don't have any, a lot of consequences, you know. But whenever it comes to like running a business that you put a whole lot of money into it, you need slow thinking. You know, and the slow thinking, you know, especially whenever you are hiring people, one thing that I realize is you have to use a very, very slow thinking to find out who is going to be fit for a particular position. Because things that are going to have long-term consequences, you need a very, very slow thinking. Take time, sit down, think about it, you know. Whenever you feel like it's not necessary to decide, yeah, that is the time that is necessary not to decide at all. You know, then you take your time to think through stuff. Then once you come to some conclusion, discuss with some people who are doing the things that you want to do already and get their ideas. Then put them all together. Then go back to what you really want to do and do it. You know, so other thing is whenever there is an issue, just go through and find out which one has the higher risks. You know, those higher risk ones, those are the ones that you're going to need a very, very slow thinking. You know, because if you're going to take a very, very quick thinking through some issues that have a higher risk, you know, quick thinking is going to cause you a whole lot of trouble. So let's say that like you want to buy a machine that you know is going to run for your company. That is the machine that is going to run the company for like the entire life of the company. You cannot just walk out one day, then you just go buy that machine, come and put it over there. No, you have to do a lot of research about that machine. See how long it can work for in a day. What is the productivity of it? Like those things, the area that you're going to put that machine, like, is it going to work? Because that machine, it will be the main thing that will control your business. So you don't just get up one day, go buy it. You have to go do research about it. Go to several companies that sell those machines, find the differences between them before you get that machine and bring it to your company. And also the other thing too is, if you're going to think and reason, think based on your experience. Because if you don't have an experience in something, don't try thinking like how don't even try. If you don't have experience on those things, find people who have experience on those things, sit down with them and think together. Because like I told you before, if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to use slow thinking. Also, the other thing too that I'm going to talk about, which is very, very, very important. Whenever you hire somebody in your company, maybe after like a day or two that you work with them, you need to sit them down and ask them questions like, okay, let's say this company is yours. How will you run it? And listen to what they will tell you. And those things that they will tell you, if you do think that is not going to help the company, whenever it crosses your mind that, man, this person needs to be fired, that is the best time that you need to fire that person, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of trouble down the road. Because if you think that the question that you ask, if the person was able to give you the right answers, if the company was theirs, how would they run it? If they give you correct answers, they can give you good answers, but there's still going to be wrong answers in there. But if you compare the percentage of the good and the bad ones, and you think you can correct that person and they will learn, you can stick with that person. But if you think that all the answers that they are giving you will be something that will bring your company down, when it crosses your mind to fire them, that is the best time to do so, to find the best person to replace them. Also, another thing is, you're going to have to create a strategic plan, how to let your business proceed. Because just having the business plan alone is not enough. Have a strategy. Do one thing at a time. Learn one skill at a time. Then improve on it. Then move on. If you do those things, learning one skill at a time, learn and move on. And if you are a very, very slow thinker, somebody who think through things really, really well, you'll be able to manage 2 or 3 things and they'll all still be successful. Because there's one thinking that most people don't usually do. And what is that thinking is, you should think about the things that you are doing. Like, ask this question: should you be engaging in this type of expenses whenever you're trying to buy something for your business, or should you be engaging in this type of business, knowing what you now know? Because whenever you start the business, you don't know what you don't know. So now that you've started the business, knowing what you now know, will you start the same thing that you are doing if you have to do it all over again? If the answer comes out yes and no, if the answer is no, then you're going to have to figure out how do you get out of it and how fast you can get out of that thing. Then if the answer comes out yes, then you are in the right place. And it's a good business. You just have to figure out how to make it run very, very successful for you. And I said before, whenever you think it is not necessary to decide, it is necessary not to decide at all. So whenever you're looking for people to run your business for you, take your time, find the right people. Also, it's going to also be there's going to be a time coming that you're going to have to start thinking about changing your business model. Oh, yeah. For example, I've seen some companies, they'll start and they'll run for some years and they don't see any improvement. But the moment that they change their strategy, that's when you see their business going very, very fast and growing, So whatever you are doing, don't always just stick with that one. Just open to the possibility that, okay, I'm going to have to change what I'm doing to make this business succeed. Yeah, in the next video, I'm going to be explaining more about this thing, because there's more to this business thing that I have learned so far doing this kind of farming thing. See, whenever you are not in it, you don't see a lot of these things. But once you get into it, that's when you begin to realize that, okay, we could have done this different, we could have done that different. And those are the learning curves that I want people to skip, so that you go straight to making money, and having a very, very successful business. Yeah, so in the next video, I will see if I can continue with this business ideas and how to be successful in your business. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Please like the video, share it, and subscribe.